Hey guys, how's it going out there? I feel like I should have some like sound effects to start this off, but I don't. So for anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Paige. I'm the community liaison for headquarters, which basically means I organize, coordinate all of our municipal liaisons, who are volunteers all around the world who organize their own writing groups during November, and some of them do camp too. So I'm coming to you from Canada today. In a tent, actually. I figured it's Camp NaNoWriMo. Tent seems appropriate, right? I'll show you around the tent a little bit. Door. Um, I am in my living room. I'm not outdoors in my tent. We had some snow flurries this morning, given that it's Canada in April, so it's just not the nicest day to be actually outside. So I guess we'll start with a little update on our fundraising progress. Most of you guys know we are doing writing and donating marathon today. We've raised $4,164.48 so far. So thank you so much to all of you who have donated out there. We are supported in huge part by the writers who participate in our programs. You guys find value in what we do, and you're the ones who make sure we can keep doing it. So we literally couldn't keep running our programs, including camp and the Young Writers program, without you guys. So I don't know if you've seen on the site or not, or from other videocasters today, but we have raffle prizes going on too. Some of the bonuses to donating today specifically is that you get entered to win one of those. So in case you don't know what they are yet, the first one is a lithograph poster, which is this gorgeous graphic poster made from all 50,000 words of your novel. That's actually what makes up the image on the poster. If you guys have never seen any of those, I encourage you to go Google them because they're actually super cool. So the second prize for today is a professionally designed novel cover from the designer of your choice over at BiblioCrunch. And the third one is the NaNoWriMo VIP package. That gives you access to all our webinars this year, a snazzy Viking helmet, and all of our new merchandise before it hits the store. So, all very exciting. So that's the donating side of everything, but I want to know how your words are going. What are your word counts up to thus far? Trying to make all of your comments show up properly for me. Right. Lots of good writing happening out there. So I'm just scrolling through. Yes, Paige is a great name for a writer, indeed. Yes. I'm sorry we can't get married. Yes, the tent was extremely difficult to put up in the living room. Not easy at all, actually. Nice. I'm seeing 19K, 33K, 16K words. You guys are doing awesome. Very awesome indeed. Well, on the topic of words, we're going to do a word sprint. If you haven't participated in one before, this is basically a 5-minute. We're going to do 5 minutes. It's a challenge to just write as much as you can in a given amount of time. So I'm going to give you the start flag and the end flag, and you guys will just write like crazy in between. And I'll sit here and look slightly awkward. Maybe I'll do some writing of my own. So I'm going to give you guys a prompt too, related to what I've been doing today. So your prompt for this 5-minute word sprint is that your character has to fit something into a space that is slightly too small for that something. Brought to you by this tent and the fact that it's not quite flat on the ground because it doesn't quite fit into my living room. Right, so you guys ready? Got your Word documents open or your pens and your paper ready? Whatever you so choose. We're going to go start right now. You guys have 1 minute left. Keep on writing. Okay. 3, 2, 1. And that's it. That's the end. Stop sprinting. Stop sprinting. So, head over to the comments. Let me know how many words you got that sprint. I'm curious indeed. There's a very slight lag between what I say and actually being able to see your comments, so I'll take a minute to see how you guys did. I did want to remind you guys, too, that we are tweeting up a storm all day today over on our main Twitter account. That's at NaNoWriMo. And we're using the hashtag Nanothon. So Nanothon if you want to jump over there, join in the festivities. You guys like word sprints. I like this. There's some great excitement happening over in the comments. Thanks all for tuning in and watching, by the way. This is fun. It's kind of warm in this tent, though. I'm sitting directly in the sunlight coming in from my balcony windows. And all right. Well done in that sprint, everybody. Good job. Cool. So, something popped up on my Tumblr feed the other day that I've seen a few times before, and I'm pretty sure a whole bunch of you guys have seen it too. There are a couple really good videos floating around the internet with this quote featured in them. But I want to read it to you and just talk about it for a couple minutes because I get kind of ranty, but I'm going to try not to rant too much. So it's this really excellent quote. It's referred to as The Gap, and it's by Ira Glass. So even if you've heard it before, I think it holds up to a rereading. So here we go. Nobody tells this to people who are beginners. I wish someone told me. All of us who do creative work, we get into it because we have good taste. But there's this gap. For the first couple years you make stuff, it's just not that good. It's trying to be good. It has potential, but it's not. But your taste, the thing that got you into the game, is still killer. And your taste is why your work disappoints you. A lot of people never get past this phase. They quit. Most people I know who do interesting creative work went through years of this. We know our work doesn't have the special thing that we want it to have. We all go through this. And if you're just starting out or you're still in this phase, you got to know it's normal. And the most important thing you can do is do a lot of work. Put yourself on a deadline so that every week you'll finish a story. It's only by going through a volume of work that you will close that gap, and your work will be as good as your ambitions. And I took longer to figure out how to do this than anyone I've ever met. It's going to take a while. It's normal to take a while. You just got to fight your way through. So if you didn't catch it, that quote was by Ira Glass. And I guess the idea in there is really similar to that aphorism or cliche, whatever you want to call it, a little simple bit of wisdom. Seems too basic, but is really true. Writers write. That's what we do. That's what makes someone a writer. The definition of a writer is that you write. And writing is hard, right? You've got all these things in your head. And try as you might, whatever comes out of your pen or your keyboard, it doesn't quite match up to what's in your head. Your description of that tavern doesn't like perfectly capture the lighting that your brain pictures, or the character that you know so well inside your own mind, their words, when you put them on paper, they just have a weird ring to them. Like they're not speaking quite how you know that character actually would. But you're trying so hard to convey it. You're striving so hard to just pour all of these things from your brain onto the paper and translate precisely what it is you've got inside your head and communicate that to the other people reading your work. And some ways, I'm not sure if we're ever going to get it exactly right. I don't know if we can ever get to a 100% accurate version of the vision inside our minds. But the exciting thing is, for me at least, what keeps me going is that we can get really, really close to that. You can get like incredibly close, really, really close to the point where the words on the paper are just so near what you imagine in your head. And I find that thrilling. So that's that gap that this quote is talking about. And I figure kind of fits into Nano because Nano is just about writing. It's about ignoring that gap, ignoring your inner editor, as the way we usually put it, not worrying about it, but knowing that closeness is out there, and the only way to get there is to just keep writing and creating. So NaNoWriMo Classic and Camp NaNoWriMo are built around the idea of just doing it and getting the words out, right? So just something for you guys to think about. That's what's been going on in my brain today. I think, given how pleased you all were with the last one, we're going to go for another word sprint. How does that sound? Good? I think we'll stick with 5 minutes again. That seemed like a good amount of time last time. So 5 minutes. And stick around after the 5 minutes because I've got a little story to read to you guys that you might find somewhat amusing. So your prompt for this word sprint is to have your real-life idol make a brief cameo appearance in whatever you're writing. So 5 minutes again, and we are going to start right now. Go. 2 minutes left, guys. Okay, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Sprint is over. Stop writing. How'd you guys do? That one was as productive for you all as the last one. For anyone who doesn't know, too, we run a WordSprint's Twitter account. It's at NaNoWriMo, and we have some really dedicated, really fun volunteers who do this all day. We have many, many hours a day of sprints. We're doing it during camp this year, and it's always during Nano Classic as well in November. So they'll give you prompts, they do fun little stories with what they're tweeting, and just endless word sprints. They're a great way to get lots of words written, so definitely check them out if you guys aren't already following them. Right. Well done with that one. So I'm a little bit over time for what I was supposed to do, but I think I'm gonna, told you guys I was gonna read your story. So, story time. We were talking about a gap earlier, about, when you start out, the things you write might not be that good. So I'm gonna read you one of my early stories. In fact, my earliest story, the very first story I ever wrote. So it's called Billy Bear and the Empty Honey Trees. There's the trees. So I wrote this when I was 7 or 8, I think. It was all typed out on the computer, and I stuck it on with little labels, because, I don't know, we didn't have tape. So, dedicated to all my teachers. I was that kind of kid. All right. Here's the picture for the first little section of the story. Very sad, son. There's a bear and some trees. Camp themed, right? There's a bear involved. So, long, long ago, in a land called Ziggyzon, there was a bear named Billy. He had a problem. His problem was that the honey trees were empty that year. He also knew that some people were in the woods. They were called honey collectors. Honey collectors are people that come to the woods every year to collect honey. Billy knew that his life and the honey collector's life depended on the honey. So he decided to go talk to the honey collectors. Here's your picture for the next story. This is a barn. It's a very sad man in the window. He found them in a red barn on the other side of the woods. When he looked in one of the torn and tattered windows, he saw 3 honey collectors looking quite depressed. When Billy entered, he found that they were feeling so depressed that they did not notice that he had entered until he said, "Please, do not be afraid of me. I've come to help you, and I know that the honey trees are empty this year." Then one of the honey collectors looked up and said, "Chris, look! John, look! The bear was talking to us." Then the other two honey collectors looked up and exclaimed, "Why, yes, Vern is right." Then Billy said, "I have a clue. The clue that I have is that in every honey tree there is a tiny hole that is about 1 centimeter wide." Then Chris exclaimed, "I need to see that hole." So off went Chris and Billy. Here's your picture for the last bit. The sun is happy again, which is good. So, when they returned, Chris said, "The hole was made by an inkworm." "What are we to do about these pesky problem pests?" asked Billy. "I don't know," replied Chris. Billy went back to his den to think. The next day, Billy decided to go to the city. When Billy got there, he headed for a building called Bug Blow Up. When Billy headed back to the forest, he was not alone. He had convinced 2 people to come and get rid of the inkworms. After the men got rid of the inkworms, they found some bees' nests and got rid of the bees by sending them to the other side of the forest to make a new hive. And then they got out all the honey and gave it to Billy and the honey collectors. The end. So, my writing's progressed a fair bit from this point. You couldn't see, but every beginning letter of a sentence is bolded, underlined, and italicized, because you had to know there was a new sentence starting. So, thought I'd share that with you guys. I hope you found it was amusing and enjoyed Billy the Bear. So, this is going to be me signing off then. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. I've had a great time. I'm going to leave this tent now because it's really getting warm in here. But keep on writing. Keep working on your projects. Join us over on Twitter with the Nanothon hashtag. And we'll see you back at the top of the next hour for another live stream. Bye, guys.